Hello everyone, I'm Nicole and welcome to my channel. Welcome to part 2 of the Lil Simsie Dino Shell challenge. If you watched part 1, if you didn't, go back, watch part 1 so you know where we're at. If you watched part 1, then you know we did all of the first floor and the outside of the build. We now are about to enter into the second floor, the outside, and we cannot forget the basement as per Lil Simsie's rules. I did want to make sure that I changed the fencing a little bit, so I went ahead and fixed the fencing to give it more of that look that I was looking for. In my mind, I actually thought that I was going to do sort of one section of fencing, but it actually turned out where I did like 2 sections and then a gate, which I really liked in the end. I thought it looked really unique and it gave the Sims a little extra area for gardening. I then decided to do a little bit of the outside just to get the porch situated. I knew that I wanted a little couch out there and just a little bit of decor. I tried to use this umbrella. It did not look good. I wasn't a fan, so I deleted that. Onto the upstairs balcony. I knew I wanted a little couch out there. I wanted the chess set out there and then just a little bit of decor. So it was pretty easy finding the couch that I wanted and even the chess set that I was looking for. I just wanted something to kind of give it a cozy look out there and for my Sims to be able to hang out and scale build. Of course, as I mentioned in the first video, which again, if you haven't watched the first video, make sure you go back and watch that. Pause this right now and go watch that video, come back to this point. But of course, like I mentioned in the first video, I have been trying to put some more flowers around the house. So I did put a little flower outside and a little bird fountain, which I thought was kind of cute. And it fit the vibes of just being cozy out there. Next, I decided to tackle the bathroom upstairs. I had already put the tiling down, so I kind of had a vision for the upstairs, although it turned out to be a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. The upstairs bathroom, I thought that I wanted a shower, a tub, a sink, and 2 countertops with double his and hers sinks, but I couldn't fit that. There just wasn't enough space in the bathroom that I had created with that floor plan to have all of what I was expecting to be in the bathroom. So I decided to just scratch one of the counters with the sink and just have one sink with the shower, bathtub, and toilet, which still, those 3 items gave me a little bit of a hard time. I did end up having a sim come at the end of this build and just make sure that all of the things were functional, which they were. So that was at least something that I was able to accomplish with the bathroom because I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to be able to make the bathroom functional. As I said in my first video, I sometimes have a hard time with placing items where I want them on the counters or on the tables. And I know there are tricks when it comes to PC and there are tricks when it comes to Xbox too, which I'm still trying to pick up on and really perfect. So I have a hard time kind of going back and forth with placing the items where I want them to be so they don't look like they're floating or that they are out of place. Let me know in the comment section if you're having difficulty with this too, and maybe we can all work together to try to make it an easier, smoother thing to do on both console and PC. Up to this point, I was really liking the vibes in the bathroom. I was able to pull the items that I wanted in the bathroom together, the appliances that I wanted in the bathroom together, and it actually ended up turning out super cute. The tan tiling and flooring, it turned out to look really nice with the shower, toilet, and tub that I went with. I also knew that I wanted to use that big mirror that is from the new kit, so I did end up throwing that into the hallway. Next, we were moving on to this little room that in my mind I envisioned to be the study. I knew that I wanted a computer in there, another little reading nook on the upstairs floor, and I actually really love this room. I feel like I would love to have a room like this in my own house. It's kind of off in the corner of the house. It has the computer, it has a bookshelf, and a comfy little chair with a lamp hanging over it. I love the way that this turned out with a cozy little rug. And the vibes in this room, I just love. I feel like the Sims are gonna love being in this room, studying on their computer, learning, and it turned out really, really nice. The color scheme that I went with turned out really cute. I was trying not to be too pinky, which everything in the room was kind of leaning towards pink, but In the end, I ended up only having a nice little hint of pink and not overbearing. I was trying to tie in the bookcase with the desk because I knew that the desk could be a couple different colors, but the bookcase could only be a certain number of colors. And I really liked the tan. I felt like the tan really made the room look brighter. So I was trying to stick with that light tan bookcase. So I went with a desk that still looked a little modern, wasn't too big and bulky, but gave me a look of tan in the drawers, so it turned out perfect. I had also tried a couple of different wallpapers, and I knew that this wallpaper was going to be really pretty, contrasting with the light flooring and all of the tan and light decor in the room. I felt like the darker gray, but not too dark of a gray wallpaper actually fit the room really nicely. I also wanted to make sure I put some items on the bookshelf because I felt like it was important to fill in those holes. Again, as I spoke about in part 1, I do find it difficult to raise items, and it is something that I'm learning to do, but I think that it ended up turning out okay. And I ended up figuring it out just fine. Again, it's different working on console and lifting things on console. I know on the computer, I think it's a click of the keyboard, but on the Xbox or on the PlayStation, the buttons are different. So I'm finding ways to make it work and still try to figure out. There are a couple of really good informative videos that I'll link in the description below that help with those things. They're not my videos, they're other videos that I've watched myself to try to learn how to lift items. So I'll link those in the description below, and let me know in the comment section how you feel about the different ways that we have to kind of maneuver the items in the game so that we can really get the look that we're looking for. So now we're in the hallway, and I knew that the hallway I wanted to keep fairly simple. I didn't want a whole lot of hoopla going on in the hallway, just some things along the wall, a little plant in the corner, because the hallway is so small, it's really just there to connect the rooms, and I didn't want a whole lot there. So it was pretty simple to kind of knock that hallway out. And I did want to keep the hallway nice and light because all of the colors in the house have been sort of a vibrant color wallpaper, and I wanted to keep that look. The bedrooms were really difficult for me. Both bedrooms I felt were so small. I usually like to put nice big double beds in my bedrooms, and I found myself having a really hard time with the layout that I had created to fit all of what I wanted in the bedrooms. The shape of the outside, along with the shape that I kind of created for the hallway and for the upstairs area, proved to be really difficult when it came to the bedrooms because the beds are already so big or already bulky, dressers are bulky. So I was trying to find something that really fit in with the look of the house overall, without having to move any of the walls, because I know according to the rules, I can't do that. I have to keep the outside walls what they are. So I did my best to try to make it so that at least this first room, the room that I'm calling the kids room, try to make it so that it still has everything that we want, a bed, a dresser, and maybe even a mirror, but not have to take up so much space, because of course I did put a door there leading out to the balcony, as well as wanting some windows in the room. I actually think that it turned out pretty nice, and I love the color scheme of the bedroom too. I was trying to avoid using so much wood because in the house overall, again, my vision was modern, so I didn't want to use too much wood in the house. I wanted it to stay a little bit more on the modern side. So I was happy with how it turned out. Everything wasn't as bulky. I actually really love this dresser that I chose. I don't even know if it's really called a dresser. It has drawers, and I love the gray with the flowers on it. I thought it was so pretty, and it totally gave me teen vibes. It totally gave me that teen or young adult vibe where it's simple but provides you everything that you need. And I was able to put a few items, again, using certain controls to lift the items onto the shelves. I was able to get a few items onto the shelf to make it so that there's a little bit of decor in the room as well, and not just that giant dresser. So I guess because I put makeup in there, and I guess I was envisioning it being a girl's room, but of course you can put whatever you want in there. That shelf does not have to be used for makeup. It could also be used for hanging clothes. I think you can put a bar in there and you'll be able to hang clothes in there too. And I think it fit the room really well. Now on to the parents' room. Again, another room that I really struggled with because there just wasn't enough space to put that double bed. I ended up having to move the walls because every angle that I put the bed on, it wouldn't fit. I knew that the Sims wouldn't be able to walk around it regardless of what angle I put it on. So I ended up having to move the walls over a little bit, make the hallway a little bit smaller, and like I said, I did have a Sim come and test it. It did work out. The Sim was able to still walk in the hallway and access the bed. At the end of the day, I was able to figure it out, but it was so difficult fitting that bed in such a small space. I even tried putting a single bed in there, but again, if I did that, I wouldn't be able to have a couple live there. It would have to be two single people. It wouldn't be able to be a family where the parents could sleep in the room together. I would have had to have them separate, and that's not what I wanted. In my mind, this was a family home, a 2-bedroom family home, and that's the vibe I was going for. Because of the size of the kids' room, you could do bunk beds in there. I chose a single bed, but you could do bunk beds. So this could technically be a 4-person house, and I didn't want to lose that just because of the spacing of the parents' room. I was able to finally fit it in there. Again, give the room a little bit of decor, putting some items on top of that little dresser, and then of course putting some things on the walls to give the room some decor, a little pop of different colors. And then I wanted to make sure I put a plant in there because I'm a plant girl now, and I've started to really put plants throughout the rooms in my house. So it really looked nice with the plant in the corner. And again, testing it out, Sims can access that corner. I also feel like I went with a pretty bold rug and wallpaper for that room, but because of the pink in the sheets and the look of the room, I felt like I could get away with a pink rug and then more of a darker colored wall, and I think it turned out really nice. Now on to the outside. The outside, I knew exactly what I wanted it to look like. The outside and landscaping is usually my worst nightmare, but I knew for sure that I wanted a pool. I knew I wanted a little cookout area where there was also a fire pit, and I wanted a basketball court in the backyard. Instead of doing just a square pool, I decided to use one of the pool tools and create my own shape, which I had never done before. I usually just use a regular square area, but I actually love using that special pool tool that allowed me to kind of shape the pool however I wanted, and it gave a unique look to the pool. So I was happy with that. And then putting a few items inside the pool just to give it a little bit of fun. Then, like I said, I knew I wanted a little area for them to cook out, hang out with family, and also have a little bonfire there. So I started off with just placing the grill. I initially couldn't find a table that I really liked, but I ended up finding this really cute picnic table with these furry cushions, and I thought they were really cute. I don't know how the fur cushions will hold up when it rains, but I thought they were really cute and actually fit my vibes perfectly for what I was looking for it to be sort of a cozy area outside for them to really enjoy their outdoor area, cooking out and spending time with family. And then I love the idea of it sort of being separate from the rest of the backyard by having its own little area of flooring. So I didn't want it to just be on grass, so I decided to put it on this sort of stone look, which I thought really fit, again, the overall vibe of what I was going for. And then of course I wanted to make sure that I put in some flowers, a few lights around to try and give it some life and try to give the area a nice cozy look. And I really loved this water bubble fountain decor. I don't even know, I came across it when building inside, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to use it, but there was no space inside. So I decided I would use it outside, and it really looks nice up against the grill area with the fire pit and the seating area. I love the way that it all ties in. Now onto my basketball court. It was pretty simple, just wanted a nice simple basketball court back there, and I was able to put that down simple and easy. On to landscaping. Again, this is one of the more difficult parts of building for me, is really making the landscaping look pretty and look nice. I'm still getting used to it, but I think all in all, the landscaping turned out pretty nice. I was able to find a couple of bushes to put around the front area, and I didn't put anything in the back. I feel like just in the front was good enough. I didn't surround the house with bushes or plants. I just kind of kept it in the front of the yard and did a few flowers towards the fence in the back. I was also really loving the idea of kind of having mismatched flowers. And so I kept going through and doing kind of every other with my flower scheme. And I think it turned out really pretty. It made the house not look so one color, one-sided. It gave a little bit of dimension to the colors of the flowers and really made each color pop against the other. I always kind of put a few trees throughout the build. I always kind of find myself putting them in the corners because I never want the trees to block the house. I never want the trees to block the outside area in the backyard or on the side of the house. It's kind of my own thing. I never want trees to cover my house. So it's kind of always something that even in The Sims, I carry along with me, and I try not to block the house with a bunch of trees. So for the walkway, I didn't want just regular tiles down. I kind of like the look for this house for it to kind of be just a little pathway that I placed. So I ended up finding this really pretty tan pathway that I thought looked really good up against the rest of the house. And I was able to place that pathway not only from the steps out to the gate, but also I created a little pathway throughout the entire backyard so that all of the different aspects of the backyard, the grill area, the pool, and the basketball court were all connected with a little pathway. Of course, I needed to put down some terrain paint, some dirt under the flowers. I put a little border around the pool just to give the pool a little pop off the ground too. And I love the way that that turned out so that I didn't have to have tiling around the pool. I was able to just do a little terrain paint, and it makes the pool look like its own entity. Of course, because I'm thinking of this build being a family home, I did make sure I put out the swings and the monkey bars so that the kids can have some place to play outside of the basketball court and the pool. So my husband said to me, "You're not gonna put a basketball court on the grass, are you?" So of course I had to put a little blacktop under the basketball court because I would have been disowned. Now, I almost did forget the basement, guys. I almost forgot to do the basement, but I was able to go down to the basement and start to try to do some things down there. In my mind, the basement was going to be very simple. I just wanted a few extra activities for them to do for skill building. So as you can see, I put down there a guitar, an easel for painting, keyboard, and a treadmill. And then I figured that's where the laundry could be as well, down there. And I felt like it turned out fine. I was able to kind of tie it all in and make the basement just kind of an extra space for them to have more things to do. I ended up finding a plant and a rug to really tie it all in, and I felt like the basement came out really cute. The last thing that I wanted to do was I realized that I didn't put rugs in the kitchen or in the bathroom upstairs. So I made sure I went through and put a couple of rugs down in those areas so that I didn't forget to put those things down. And then I also wanted a few more plants out by the fence because I felt like there was something missing. I felt like the yard just looked a little too open. So I decided to put these really pretty flowers along the fence in the backyard. And again, I was loving the idea of kind of every other color, and I feel like it turned out really cute. And then I found these really small flowers to kind of put in front of those flowers and really give the backyard area just a little bit something extra to really tie it in and make it look nice and sweet and homey. I also realized that the basketball court and the area for the grill wasn't lit enough, so I decided to go through at the last minute and go ahead and put more lights there around the grill as well as on the basketball court so that there was some light there. And I also put a few lights in the pool, again, just to illuminate it when it's nighttime. So here we are at the end of this build. I really love the way that everything turned out. And again, if you watched part one, you heard me say that I really wanted to push myself with this build. I really feel like I did. I feel like having a shell that you can't move the outside walls, you have to just work within it, really challenges you and makes you have to think outside the box. And I love that. So I'm really happy that Lil Simsie did this dino challenge. And I hope that everyone liked the way that the build turned out. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the build, if you think that there's anything that could have been changed, or any ideas of your own builds and your own shell challenges. I'd love to hear about it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you know when we're posting videos in the future. Thanks for watching.